Hello and welcome to Weekly MTG. I'm your host, Blake Rasmussen, and joining me today, we have Reggie Valk here.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, so Reggie is here because tell the folks at home what you worked on for Avatar last week.
So my portion of the Avatar set was leading the Jumpstart expansion. So I was really excited to get to work on this, both as an Avatar fan and as a Jumpstart fan. I've worked on all of our Jumpstart sets to date, and I had been leading Foundation's Jumpstart, which had done a very similar thing of being a Jumpstart set that was releasing alongside a main expansion.
Yeah.
And I thought that went over really well. And so I'm really excited to get to do it again and show off Avatar Jumpstart that releases alongside it.
And so we are showing off a ton of cards today. It is not every card in Jumpstart because some have been shown off previously, some are being shown off a couple other places.
A lot of main set reprints.
Yep, but we're showing off like 5 rares per color, plus a smattering of uncommons and commons. It's a ton of cards. We're going to talk about themes. We're going to talk about cool reprints. We're going to talk about new rares. And then, if you stick around till the end, we are also going to show off the Commander Bundle Booster Fun cards. Those have actually nothing to do with Jumpstart, but we wanted to show them off because they're cool. But we don't have a ton of time to go through all of these cards, so we're going to jump right into it. Pun somewhat intended. We're going to start with white. Why don't we kick things off with our first card, and we'll start just talking about this. So here we've got Jet Rebel Leader, a Rebel ally, two great creature types.
For sure. You're going to see a lot of allies in white especially, and throughout the set, because it's all about the allies that are helping the gang along their journey. We've seen a main set version of Jet as a red-white hybrid uncommon, but we wanted to make a packet theme that really cared about the freedom fighters, Jet and his allies, who we have not seen all of, but we will see most of them here in the slide. So Jet is just a cool, aggressive card, can put in cheap allies to attack with, including some of his freedom fighters, as we'll see.
Yeah, and I love that it puts a small creature into play, but they're in play and attacking. They don't go away. They're just there. They're out, and they get going. Very cool. All right, next up, oh man, I'm going to mispronounce this, so I'm just going to put it up on the screen.
That's Monkiatsu.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Whenever another creature you control becomes a target of spell or ability, you may airbend that creature. That is a cool ability.
It is. So Gyatso is a character that we really wanted to showcase. It's one of Aang's oldest friends and teachers, was also a good friend of the Avatar Roku before him, and just a super awesome, powerful airbender. Love the cakes that he's making in this scene. And kind of doing a cool thing of, do you want to use this proactively to try to use it as sort of a blink engine? Do you want to try to save your creatures? Do you use it just protectively as like a Shalai-like effect? A lot of options here, but tried to make something open-ended.
Yeah, really unique ability here. I will stop here and just note, since I saw the question in chat, yes, these cards are coming to Arena. There will be a jump-in event. They'll all be craftable. They'll be earnable through that event. So
notably Commander legal, though.
Notably Commander legal, and they'll be legal in the older, more expansive formats on Arena as well.
For sure.
But yeah, not standard legal. Yes, eternal legal. All right, let's see our next white card, Suki.
Yeah, so Suki, Kyoshi Captain here, is doing some warrior typal.
Yeah.
She is the captain of the Kyoshi Warriors, and we wanted to make sure that you could, have an option to build an awesome Kyoshi Warriors commander deck if you wanted to. So who knows what warriors you'll pick. I don't think she's going to upstage Najila, but she's a fun option.
She certainly would jump in that deck, though.
For sure.
Yeah, and I also saw a question about the extended here. The extended versions are available in collector boosters, and then the regular versions you'll find in those Jumpstart packs.
And this will also point at, we still have some classic sort of Jumpstart themes that you know and expect. So we just saw Gyatso, who was hinting at an airbending packet theme. Kyoshi here is leading kind of a warrior-themed packet that has lots of other Kyoshi warriors in it, and other unexpected warriors like Sokka and people that you wouldn't expect. We tried to just hook into different sorts of themes wherever we could. So typal is a big part of Jumpstart's DNA. We obviously have tons of rebels all around, but we wanted to try to find spots for appropriate typal when we could. And job typal, like warrior here, made a lot of sense.
Now, this is a good spot too. Maybe the front of the show would have been a better spot, but For those who don't know what Jumpstart is,
Oh, sure.
real quick, 60-second, what's Jumpstart overview?
You open 2 20-card booster packs. You take out the face card that tells you what they're about, shuffle them together, and play against somebody else who just did the same thing. And you are off and running playing 40-card Magic. It's kind of about the strength of like strong limited decks. The packet themes, like those 20-card combinations, are usually pretty high synergy, and you often just discover a lot of cool emergent gameplay along the way. So, who knows what warriors you might find in your red and green packet themes, or, what triggered ability could help with Monkiazzo in your black packet or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's just the fastest and easiest way to start playing Magic.
Yeah, it's often really good for players who have recently learned how to play Magic, but then there's that sort of deck building hurdle. I'm going through this with my son, actually.
Yeah.
He's like, I've got all these cards, I want to build a deck. I'm like, well, okay, mana array. But anyway, you just shuffle together, you play.
That's the
Great.
truth.
Cool. All right, let's keep going. And let's take a look at the Tale of Momo.
Tearjerker.
Tearjerker.
I'm sorry. Tales of Ba Sing Se is one of the best episodes of the show. We really wanted to showcase, everyone's vignette in that. Momo's is unfortunately a little sad, so he's looking for his ally desperately. Please let him know if you find him.
Yeah. Sad, but strong card.
Yeah, a nice tutor for your ally deck.
Yep. And I assume ally is going to be a theme.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. Now we have a reprint, but a strong one. Let's see, Duelist's Heritage.
Yeah, some cool Piandao flavor here. There is a packet that features Asaka that we have already shown off, who cares kind of about allies and equipment, and the theme is really all about him as a blade master learning from his sword master here, and Duelist Heritage made a lot of sense in that context. Sweet with a strong equipped creature.
All right. Now let's take a look at some uncommons, including one which Reggie has predicted will be at the top of Reddit. We got That's Rough Buddy, Air Nomad Student, and a reprint in Valorous Stance.
Yeah, I love Valorous Stance. I
obviously.
just needed to
It
get
is
it in
Valorous
here.
Stance is a great
and a
card.
great moment, actually.
Yeah.
That's Rough Buddy is funny. We definitely felt like the moment was available to us after the main set wasn't using it in this context. We wanted it to kind of be able to be a combat trick blowout so that you could say it to your opponent. Might emote that on Reddit or on Marina, we'll see. And then also a cool Air Nomad who is representing, again, some of the better parts of Aang's childhood and representing the pacifism of the Airbenders.
Yeah. So for That's Rough Buddy, obviously it's a bit of a meme and it's a pretty famous line. How do you go about designing? You said you wanted it to be a combat trick. For the blowouts. You can say
this actually emerged somewhat organically because we actually have a packet theme that is good a chance to discuss here because we've already shown off some cards, but there's a white kind of semi-sacrificey revolty theme that we've seen from the main set. It's kind of using the elements of the white-black limited archetype in white. And we wanted to get a trick that represented or use that mechanic. So this is a strong trick if you revolt, and we're like, oh, what makes sense for a combat trick that's this like short moment, cares if something left, and I don't know, it just fit.
Yeah. My first girlfriend turned into the moon.
Yeah, that's true.
That's rough, buddy. All right, let's take a look at some more uncommons.
Yeah, here are 2 of the freedom fighters that I was talking about with Jet. So the Duke and Pipsqueak are really a pair. They show up together a handful of times, and so they work well together mechanically. But also Pipsqueak is just an exciting one to potentially like hit off of Jet. Just sometimes you can just hit a 4/4 attacker and you don't care about the condition.
Yeah. No, and that's a really cool ability there. It's a 4/4 for 3, which is pretty rare. It's got the Rebel and Ally types. There's a lot more going on there than at first glance. All right, next up, we've got some commons here.
For sure. So we, obviously just needed a lot of commons and, base effects to fill out the packets to make them play well. We definitely enjoyed the opportunity to get to show off, characters, like on the Kindly Customer from episodes that people will remember, occasionally to use fun reprints, like with the Suspicious Bookcase, which is featured in Wan Shi Tong's library, and just to get some simple, easy creatures into the packet themes. So one of the greatest suggestions that we had when we were doing playtesting for this actually were incorporating more of these hybrid animals into the packets.
Yeah.
We had been playing, and I think it was Andy Sardellis had suggested to me, what if you just have like French vanillas in all the packets, just to ease cognitive load of, we are trying to make this such an easy, accessible version. And I thought that that was a great idea and thought that the hybrid animals were a great spot for it. And so this one ended up not as quite a French vanilla, but in the same space.
Yeah. Well, and you've got these comes into play abilities. I think, can you talk a little bit about how some of the different themes interact with comes into play abilities?
Sure, yeah. Definitely see a lot of airbending in some of these packets. Definitely the white thing. And so airbending your own creatures to potentially rebuy your enters the battlefield triggers can be powerful. And then you'll just see a lot of, strong allies, definitely a lot of go wide aggressive themes, especially among the common white packets.
All right. And our last group, Suspicious Bookcase, it's not a white.
It's actually in a blue packet, yeah.
Okay, but it's here.
Yeah.
And then we get the last set of white cards, including a couple reprints there on the end.
Yeah, so again, that Sokka's sword training kind of hinting at that moment in Sokka's arc and features in that packet. More fun animals, and then some good combat tricks, and yeah, a really cool art of Cloud Shift, which also kind of does the airbending shtick.
And a toucan puffin, which is just
it's cute.
It is cute. It's adorable. All right, let's move on to blue and see our first card, Baboon Spirit.
Yeah, this guy's really rude in the cartoon. Kind of shushazang, doesn't want to talk to him. But yeah, no, we've got a spirit theme. So blue is definitely a color in Avatar that is in touch with the spiritual side of things. And so we see this character in the spirit realm, and they are also very good at resetting enters the battlefield triggers and the like, and create a spirit token that we have seen a handful of times in the main set and in the Jumpstart expansion. So these spirits kind of almost have shadow of they can only be blocked by other spirits because that's how the spirit realm sort of works in this world.
Very cool flavor. Yeah. Love the type line Monkey Spirit as well.
It is fun.
All right, let's stick with some spirits and check out the blue spirit.
Not quite a spirit, I don't know who's behind that mask, but human rogue, TBD. Yeah, so this is hinting at a flash theme, cares about casting creatures during the combat phase. So it enables that by itself, but if you can find other roguish ways to get creatures to enter during the combat phase, then you get some reward.
Yeah. Okay. Let's check out our next card. Little different direction here. We've got Chakra Meditation. Love this art too.
Yeah, it is really breathtaking. Yeah, we definitely have some blue packets that care about pretty normal instant and sorcery sorts of things. This one cares about lessons, so it works well as a base mode, rebuy your powerful instant and sorcery and get some card flow along the way. But if you reach the threshold, then you get big reward.
Yeah, then draw a card every time you cast an instant or sorcery spell. I mean, even just looting on each time isn't pretty powerful. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. All right, next up we have Nightmares and Daydreams.
This is a really silly episode from season 3. I think the most noteworthy, the art speaks for itself. That is Momo and Appa in like samurai armor dueling. Some weird dreams happening in this. And so we were just trying to pick something that was, well, mostly to show off the art, frankly, but also that was just cool and exciting. We knew we wanted to get a couple of sagas in, and trying to think of just different exciting rewards for instants and sorceries. This one actually plays pretty nicely with Chakra Meditation.
Yeah.
Also plays really nicely with Archive Trap.
It does do that. All right, next up we have Tui and La. Moon and Ocean, thank you.
Indeed. Yeah, so the moon and ocean spirits, respectively, we just saw last week or earlier this week, Aang, when he merges with the ocean spirit after the moon spirit is killed, but this is them whole and in harmony, push and pull the tides, and so they care about becoming tapped and untapped. They work well with water bending, but you can do all sorts of things.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of possibilities here. You're thinking about things like freed from the real and other things that let you tap and untap creatures. All right, let's move on to Waterbender's Restoration.
Yeah, a different sort of a take on kind of a mass slide, like a Ghostway or Eerie Interlude. Waterbending can be used to heal people, and so this is a representation of that, saving them from harm.
Yeah, this is an interesting, I don't know that we've seen a cost like this before, because it's not in the thing, and there's an X. We do see some spells, I think, in the main set that waterbend, as an additional cost to waterbend 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
Is this the only one that has X? Do you remember?
I don't remember offhand. It might be, though.
Okay.
But yeah, so it'll play a little more like a Convoke spell, but definitely has a lot of flexibility.
All right. Next up, let's move on to some uncommons. Oh, yeah, here we go. Dutiful Knowledge Seeker and Princess Yue.
So we have already shown off the Jumpstart version of Wan Shi Tong, who notably cares about the same trigger condition whenever cards are put into a library from anywhere.
Yeah, which is a different one.
It's certainly a different one, but he is a librarian who is collecting knowledge, and his knowledge-seeking fox spirits, again, are also collecting that knowledge for him, so trying to put cards into library for gain, which hints at that theme. And then Princess Yue is just an awesome card. Again, one of the things we got to do in this were get to show off characters and moments that just the main set couldn't accommodate. So there is an awesome Princess Yue at rare in the main set, but it's her after she has ascended into her spirit form and become the moon. And this is her before then, but still hinting at the same flavor beat.
She's a land named Moon.
That's true.
A unique line of text. I saw a question in chat. Does she still get to scry when she is
She
the
does.
Moon? Okay. Good to know. Is Moon still legendary? Yes, she's still legendary. Cool. Yeah, that's a wild card. All right. Next up, let's see some more uncommons here, including one reprint.
Yeah, coastal piracy with some fan favorite pirates from an episode in the first season. And then, a blue take on airbending, which we had explored more at different points. I think this might have ended up as the only one, besides there's a blue-white Aang who's really powerful, the one with the ocean spirit.
Yep.
But yeah, just showing off the range of different effects.
Yeah. Okay, now let's see. There's some pretty cool reprints in the commons as well, so let's keep moving along. Brainstorm and Consider, obviously strong cards.
Indeed. Strong cards, Brainstorm. Notably, the scene is set in Wan Shi Tong's library again. Brainstorm, a powerful way to get cards back into your library. And then Consider, I adore this art. Obviously a great card, and Iroh and his flavor text there.
Yeah. And then Nagi Spray, I love when we get the, if you control a fish, octopus, otter. But now we've added otter, seal.
Serpent and whale, indeed. There is a blue packet that cares about underwater dwellers, so it has a lot of sea monsters, including those types, among others, and submersibles and some other things like that. And so just wanted to get the fun call out, certainly a laundry list.
All right, and then a couple other fun reprints still to go. Dramatic Reversal and Frantic Search.
Yeah, some sweet cards for commander decks, getting more avatar art on staple effects that we wanted to see, especially when they were flavorful and made sense.
Yeah. And yes, Arena folks, that does mean Frantic Search. I couldn't remember. Frantic Search is definitely in the powered cube. I don't know if it's craftable right now, but if it's not, it will be. Will be shortly. All right, let's move on to black. Desperate Plea. Another lesson. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature, choose one or both. You can return a creature card from your graveyard. If its power is less than or equal to the sacrificed creature's power, and or destroy target creature.
Yeah, just trying to be a sweet, powerful spell. Love this art representing, Zuko in one of his most desperate moments, kind of begging to get struck by lightning. And yeah, there definitely are a lot of black packets that care about, some that care about lessons in some ways, some that care about sacrificing. Every packet wants to play removal.
Yeah.
So, a little bit of everything.
All right. Next up, we have Fire Nation Occupation. This one's pretty strong as well.
Yeah, so we're making this Firebender soldier a couple of different spots in the main set and in Jumpstart. And yeah, caring about kind of a flash theme. So you want to keep casting things on your opponent's turn for reward.
For more red soldiers.
Yeah.
All right, let's stick with the Fire Nation and see some Fire Nation salvagers.
Yeah, we've got one packet theme that is around kind of the Fire Nation's war machines. And so all of their vehicles and artifacts. And so this is a character that finds the war balloons at the Northern Air Temple and representing it. And so definitely a swingy effect here if you can make it work. But depends on how many counters you have. So works well with vehicles, works well with counters, which is another theme that we are representing in a couple of different spots. Some black earthbending cards.
Ooh. All right. Let's move on to our next rare, Lo and Lee Royal Advisors.
Yeah.
This is a weird one.
This is a weird one for sure. We were thinking of just kind of some goofy things like we had shown off. We definitely have some typal themes when it made sense. And one of the jobs that we had thought about was advisors. And we ended up just having a surprising amount of advisors with some mechanical overlap throughout the set. And we decided that we could make a packet. I think it ended up being named Bad Advice. And it is. So yeah, you care about discarding and milling. Notably, some popular advisors include Persistent Petitioners. Corrupt Court Official is one that's in the main set. And so you can just kind of do this a handful of times.
Yeah, discard tickles my funny bone. I love it. All right, next up, let's move on to some of the black uncommons. Oh, no, I got another rare.
One more rare.
One more rare.
I think this is the only version of Nyla, actually, who is a really cool mount for June the Bounty Hunter, who we see a couple of different times. And so he is sniffing out whoever.
Clues. Yeah.
Indeed. So yeah, exile something, and then once you run out of clues, you find them and get the card back.
Yeah. Oh, very cool. Yeah, if you have control no clues, return target card, exile with Nyla to its owner's hand. Very cool. Okay. Now, there we are. All right. Okay. Here's some uncommons, including a couple reprints, some powerful reprints there at the end.
Yeah. Bastion of Remembrance and Dark Deal, both representing some really flavorful moments. Again, pulling on the heartstrings a little bit there with that Bastion of Remembrance. But yeah, just cool cards that make sense with themes. We've already shown off the Black Mythic Azula from the Jumpstart expansion. And she works well with Dark Deal, cares about discard in some ways, and one of her nefarious moments in the show. And then, yeah, just a couple of cool uncommons. Scarring Memories is a powerful card, actually shows up in an Ozai-themed packet, among others. And then, yeah, a Waterbender in black, too, one of very few.
I was going to ask about that,
seeing.
yeah.
But, yeah, just kind of showing off the range that there are a lot of dimensions to a lot of these factions that we see.
Okay. All right, let's keep going with some black commons here. We got a Giant Fly. We got a reprint on Dire Sight.
And a Soldier Advisor.
And a Soldier Advisor. Another
Doing
advisor.
it all.
Yeah. It looks like there's a sacrifice theme going on.
Definitely a lot of sacrificing at different points. Some packets are using it more with creatures. Some packets are using it more with clues. Sometimes, you're really appreciate having mana sinks like that when you are pairing it with firebending. So definitely a range.
All right. And then I think, okay, so now we've got, we're only going to show off one hybrid card. We'll show that one next, Zuko Seeking Honor, but talk a little bit about the role. There are other hybrid cards. Talk about
quite
the
a few.
role of hybrid in the Jumpstart packets.
So we really love hybrid in Jumpstart, actually. This is a spot where we get to use hybrid to really mean, it is castable by either color. And so this card is one that you will see in some mono black packets and some mono red packets. And we like the flavor. Zuko is kind of a black-red character at this moment in the story, but also we really liked it. We were trying to take a lot of effort to make sure that you were going to see members of the gang in every packet that you opened of Jumpstart, because we really felt like that was important for Universes Beyond, see the characters that you come expecting. And so when we were kind of gridding everything out, some characters already had hybrid representation in the main set that we could borrow. Like Sokka has a blue-white hybrid card. But Zuko was a mono-red card in the Jumpstart expansion, or in the main set. And so we wanted to get more Zuko into more packets, and we tried to figure out a way to make it a black-red card so that we could put it in more places, so you could continue to see more Zuko and Katara and Aang in all of your packets. And then we could engineer something that then was very Swiss Army knife and work well with a variety of different packet themes, so works well as a firebender if you have lots of other things to do with that. Works well in like a red spellslinger sort of a packet.
Cool.
Works well with counters, does it all.
All right, so this helps us bridge the transition from black to red. So now let's start looking at some red rares, including Chong and Lily Nomads.
Yeah, Bard typle.
Bard typle.
That's right. Bards and sagas, they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
These are fan favorite characters. Chong and Lily show up in the Secret Tunnel episode. Everybody loves the song. And yeah, we were trying to figure out different representations of making them work, and we landed on something like this and thought it was pretty silly. So kind of just like a go-wide, aggressive theme. The bottom ability is probably the one that you will end up picking more often. But theoretically, if you are building this in other formats, you can really take advantage of it all.
Are there going to be more bards in this set?
Yes, there are a handful of bards in this set.
Okay. All right.
We've got at least one more to come.
At least one more. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at our next red rare.
Iroh, Dragon of the West. I'm so happy we got that epithet onto a card, one of his most awesome titles. And yeah, representing his mentorship of Zuko across the series. So cares about giving all of your creatures with counters firebending, teach everybody, and potentially, if you are already building your deck with counters in mind, could do really powerful things.
Yeah. Well, and I also love, this is one of my favorite things about Universes Beyond, is when the mechanics meets the flavor with pre-existing, like Mentor just being a mechanic that we had ready to go, and it fits so perfectly here. Yeah, just fantastic.
No doubt.
All right. Let's take a look at our next red rare, Lost in Memories. What's going on here?
Zuko's having a flashback to his time with his mother, and so kind of a tender moment, and we really wanted to represent that, and so it has flash, so it works well with firebending as a secret trick, but you can give things flashback.
Yeah.
And so you can
remember.
It
is a flashback that gives flashback. I know there's that is actually, it's fun here, but that is sort of throughout the set. There are a lot of flashbacks in the show, and then I know that the set utilizes flashback in a number of ways. All right. Next up, Overwhelming Victory.
This is
different vibe here.
Very different vibe. Silly scene, again, in book 3 from the beach episode, which kind of is just a classic beach day tropey episode. Azula's playing volleyball, and she's a bad sport. So you, kill something small and get huge reward. Just use it as a removal spell. Teach your opponent a lesson.
Right. Over Fireball. All right, next up, let's see Reckless Blaze. More dealing 5 damage.
In a different sort of a way,
Yeah.
but yes. So this is a scene that happens in book 1. Aang tries to learn firebending too soon and accidentally burns Katara and gets a little scared from it. So we were trying to represent that moment because we felt like it was an important moment to show. It's kind of a memorable scene from the early season, and main set wasn't using it. And so we were thinking of top-down executions and ended up landing on this. So potentially you could set it up in a really big way and get a lot of mana, or maybe cast this for pseudo-free if you're willing to expend your creatures.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Smellerbee, Rebel Fighter.
Yeah, so this is another one of the freedom fighters that we were seeing before in Jet. So Jet in the main set, like I was saying, was a white-red hybrid card, and so some of the freedom fighters ended up being red cards, and we ended up making some kind of red rebellion-themed go-wide packets to kind of contrast with a lot of firebending that we're seeing in other spots. So Smellerbee is helming one of those, a fan favorite character, and just trying to tell you to go wide and attack.
Now we know, obviously, Ally has some mechanical themes in this set. Does Rebel obviously has a long history in Magic.
Lincivi, I mean,
does it have any mechanical significance in this?
I don't think we actually do. There are a handful of ways that I think you can care about choosing a creature type, or like ways that, individual creature types can matter, but Rebel specifically was mostly a fun flavor nod to the freedom fighters specifically.
Yeah. Okay. But you know what? Get Lincivi out. Go to town. All right, next up, let's take a look at our next card. Storm of Memories. This card has Storm.
That's true. This is kind of wild. This is from an episode that is The Storm.
So you had no choice.
Our hands were tied. Yeah, that's true.
It just had to exist like this.
I think this is a tame one, but certainly a little crazy for the product, but I think in a fun way. And so you can cast a lot of instants and sorceries from your graveyard, potentially for free. So you've got to set it up, but it works well with, normal Storm things like rituals and the like.
Oh yeah, all your rituals probably cost 3 or less. This storms into more storm.
Cantrips, it's
there you
the
go.
truth.
Yeah, just storm into storm. Okay. All right, yeah, that one's gonna be seeing play in a few spots. People are gonna try to make that work.
Great art for it.
Yeah. All right, now let's move on to, I believe, some uncommons. There they are. We've got the Founding of Amashu, Frantic Confrontation, and Longshot Rebel Bowman, another Rebel ally over there.
I think the last of the freedom fighters, or actually there's one more that we're seeing that's on a common. But Longshot caring about casting some non-creature spells, and then trying to get more sagas in where we could to help facilitate our evil bard schemes.
Go wide bards. All right. And then let's move on with some more red cards. A couple more uncommons here. Moku and reprint Bolt Bend.
Here is another bard. So
another bard. There we go.
Who is a little more functional and just cares about casting non-creature spells, so can play in a lot of different red packets. And so get the bard density up a little bit over time.
You got to keep that bard density up.
Yeah, Bolt Bend, just slam dunk flavor fit.
Yeah. Next up, we have some commons in red. Deer Dog.
Deer Dog, that's true. Like I said, hybrid animals with easy keyword abilities, and then some great reprints. Cathartic Reunion. We had to do Cathartic Reunion for this moment.
Yeah.
I think people would have rioted if we didn't, and so love to see it. Fists of Flame, also very apt and makes a lot of sense in a set with firebending. Good instant speed trick. And then Sneers, the last freedom fighter, actually still gets her own card, shows up there as a simple common.
There we go. All right. Tell me about making a 1/3 with First Strike. It's so simple, but why? Why?
Just trying to teach, we're a little cagey about giving out real First Strike these days. You'll see 2/1s with First Strike on your turn or while attacking a lot more often because First Strike can be really powerful on defense. a lot of our red packet themes end up having cards like Fist of Flame that are pretty strong pump spells. And First Strike is particularly brutal with combat tricks a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So we wanted something that was a little more toughness centered and a little lower on power because we knew that you were going to be able to supplement its power a lot more often.
Sure.
And helped just slow games down a little bit too, but in, we thought, a slightly more fun way than just giving you a 2/1 like Young Knight.
All right. Cool. Let's move on to our final color, green, and take a look at Bison Whistle. Little Bison typal here, but that Bison's going right into play.
Very light Bison typal, admittedly.
Very
You
light
were calling
Bison
this
type.
didgeridoo.
Didgeridoo
Yeah.
2.0.
Maybe. This one at least has some base functionality, which is probably the more common functionality. Yeah, kind of more like a Lifecrafter's Bestiary sort of an effect
Sure.
of trying to just draw a card every turn if you've got a lot of creatures in your deck. But yeah, if you do have some Bisons,
Then it's
a surprise.
Didgeridoo number 2.
that's the truth.
It just rhymes, so it works. But no, this card's sweet. I love this. Next up, we have Crystalline Armor, which is a bit of a throwback to Blanchwood Armor that we were talking about before.
Yeah, I mean, I love Blanchwood Armor. I feel like it's an awesome card, super aspirational, and so trying to think of similar sorts of effects, just powerful, awesome auras, and this moment ended up making a ton of sense for the art and the flavor. Yeah, really enjoy this card.
Yeah. All right. Then we've got Master's Guidance. A lot of +1/+1 counters, power matters here.
Yeah, this is kind of doing it all. We definitely have some green packets that care a lot about earthbending and care about counters in different ways. We have some green packets that care about power 4 or greater, hooking into some limited themes. And we definitely have a lot of packets with a lot of legends. But I really enjoy this just because we had thought of this as kind of an attack with 2 or more legendary creatures, and it got paired with an awesome moment of Zuko and Iroh teaming up. And so kind of the perfect 2 legendary creatures.
Very cool. Okay, next up we have the Tale of Katara and Toph. What is going on here?
They're having a spa day.
Spa day, okay.
Yeah, so we saw Tale of Momo in white. This is the other vignette from Tales of Ba Sing Se. We've seen a lot of different cards actually that represent kind of Aang's adventures in the zoo. We saw Momo, we've seen Sokka's Haiku, but we wanted to make sure that we showed off Katara and Toph, who kind of have a fun moment and a spa day, and so we were trying to think of a card that was something that represented kind of the meeting of waterbending and earthbending. So caring about your creatures becoming tapped and getting counters on them, so you can grow your earthbending lands very easily, or you can waterbend your creatures and get some counters.
Yeah, okay. All right, next up, this is one of the cooler cards, Tectonic Split.
I mean, this is just one of the coolest moments.
Yeah.
So maybe the most epic feat of earthbending, Avatar Kyoshi split the landmass and created Kyoshi Island to defeat Chin the Conqueror and create the place. So yeah, trying to just show off that incredible feat of earthbending. So incredible ability here, lands tap for 3 mana and hexproof.
Yeah, that's
but
wild.
a hefty cost to pay. However, you've got to figure out how you want to use it. You know, you could either sacrifice your earthbent lands and bring them back to the battlefield again, or you could keep your strongest lands that now are so strong.
Yeah.
So some cool ways to use this, I'm sure.
No, a lot of people will be testing this one out, I'm sure. All right, next up, let's see. Animal Attendant, Bosco Just a Bear, and Boomy's Feast Lecture.
So Animal Attendant, we actually do have a packet that is at the zoo and really trying to hit at those notes of Aang's adventures on the zoo in Tales of Ba Sing Se. And so Animal Attendant here cares a lot about casting non-human creatures, of which there are many hybrid animals across. However, not Bosco, not a hybrid animal. He is just a bear. We showed off the Earth King yesterday, who creates a Bosco token, 4/4 bear, but we knew everybody loves Bosco. He needed his own card, and he's hungry. And so also hinting at some themes of food, which we've already seen. Cabbage Merchant.
I was going to ask if there's obviously a food theme among some of these.
It's kind of a food theme in Avatar, to be honest.
That's
you
true,
know,
yeah.
Definitely lots of delicious food across the series, including Boomy's Feast Lecture there.
Yeah. All right. let's move on to some more green cards here. We've got Cracked Earth Technique, Creeping Crystal Coating, and Elephant Mandrill. Elephant Monkey. Love that one.
That's the truth. And so, yeah, giving each player a food, but then trying to, be stronger if you still have food because he wants it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so variety of different themes here. So food is definitely a big one, a lot of earthbending themes again, and so showing off just the range of effects, cool cards, and cool moments that we still had available.
Yeah. Now, we've seen this a few other times, but can you talk about when we had, especially to newer players, it's going to look weird to say Earthbend 3, then Earthbend 3.
Yeah. So this gives you flexibility. You can either create two different 3/3 lands, or you can put them both on the same creature and make a 6/6. So it kind of just gives you extra flexibility that wouldn't be there if we had just said Earthbend 6.
Right. Okay. Next up, I think we've got our last slide of Jumpstart cards. Kyoshi Warrior Exemplars, Solid Ground, and Inspiring Call, which is a really cool reprint in this set.
Yeah, fun flavor, makes a lot of sense with the allies, but also works really well with earthbending and all the counters that are put on those. That might come from a card like Solid Ground, so kind of doing a hardened scales-like impression with a strong floor of giving you an earthbend creature off the gates. And then, we just wanted to show off more Kyoshi Warriors wherever we could because they're so cool.
Yep, and I sort of lied. There are two more green cards. We have the Art of Tea and Many Partings.
Many Partings is a good one to leave on, Yanni Skolnick had suggested this one to me, and I was just so enamored. It's originally from Lord of the Rings and has some very serious, tender flavor there, and it just made so much sense. And
a little different context
just
here.
Loved it.
Yeah. All right, so those are the last Jumpstart cards we have to reveal. There is going to be an article going up on dailymtg.com today that will have more info about the Jumpstart cards, the packets, all of that sort of stuff. So head there to get all of the details. The last thing we have to do is, I promised at the beginning, we would do some Commander Bundle booster fun. So the Commander Bundle, if you are not aware, is, so there aren't Commander decks for this, but we didn't want to leave Commander fans out. And so the Commander Bundle contains, it has 9 play boosters, a collector booster, and then a few Commander cards that are flavored after Avatar: The Last Airbender. So in each one, you're going to get a Command Tower, Arcane Signet, and I'm missing one. What was the third one?
Sol Ring.
Sol Ring. Yeah, of course.
Can't leave home without it.
Can't. And then you're going to get 2 other booster from this list that we're going to show you, but we're also going to show you those 3. So let's start going through these. These are going to be found in that Commander Bundle. So here is that Arcane Signet.
Love this art.
Yeah. Your own past lives. All right, and then let's see the Sol Ring. Up next is one of those random ones you can get, Swiftfoot Boots. Or maybe this is, no, this might be the, I might have misspoken earlier.
Instead of Command Tower.
Instead of Command Tower, yeah, because Command Tower is not on it. So it's Arcane Signet, Sol Ring, Swiftfoot Boots. I misspoke earlier, apologies. And then we get to some cool ones here. We've got Enlightened Tutor. Really cool concepting of this one.
Yeah, for real. Aang and his past avatars.
Yeah. You can also get a Flawless Maneuver. Next up, you could also get a Fierce Guardianship. Your technique is useless on me. They got that counterspell sass down.
Persists across IPs.
Yep. Then we have Mystical Tutor. This is fantastic art from Mystical Tutor as well. Yep, these cards are definitely found in the Commander bundle. Next up, we have Deadly Rollick. Then we've got Entomb.
This is great flavor. This character ends up staying in Wan Shitong's library forever. He just decides that he
just
wants
wants
to
not to
read
be
all
there.
the knowledge, and then you see his skeleton in a later series.
Then we've got Deflecting SWAT. This is a moment we've also seen set on several cards.
It's true.
throughout
It
the
looks
set.
like this is set in the last Agni Kai, and
Yep.
yeah, very awesome.
Then we've got Gamble. Two more to go. One you might be expecting. We've got Obscuring Haze. And the final booster fun card for the Commander bundle, Worldly Tutor.
One of my favorite pieces of flavor text here. Love this quote from Iroh.
Yeah.
Great moment sharing tea with Toph.
So again, in the Commander bundle, you will get, I'm going to say this correctly this time, Arcane Signet, Soul Ring, Swiftfoot Boots, those first three that we showed. Those will come in each bundle. And then you will get 2 random ones from among the rest of those cards that we just showed. So that is what we have today. It's not everything for Avatar: The Last Airbender. Previews are going on the rest of this week with the full card image gallery going up on Friday. We've got more information on the Jumpstart cards, packets, that whole set going up on dailymtg.com today. And then next week, you'll want to tune in because next week will be our BNR announcement stream. So the BNR announcement is on Monday. Then we'll come on the stream on Tuesday to talk about it. So you'll definitely want to tune in to that show. Now that does mean our normal product opening stream is going to be moved 1 week till after the Avatar pre-release. But you know what? It'll still be cool to open that stuff then. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Hello there. My name is Daniel Holt, and I'm excited to introduce my new role as lead fashion designer of Magic the Gathering. I wanted to draw inspiration from some of my fashion icons. By calling upon the greats, I knew I could create clothes that would live beyond my years. That meant studying people like Karl Lagerfeld, Christian Dior, and Gavin Verhey. Part of designing a statement piece is deciding what statement you're making. Other designers use fabrics or colors that evoke these very specific emotions. I chose the simple option. Put the cat dad on it. Some of the world's greatest artists were laughed at in their time. I'm loved in mine, so that makes me better than them. That is how this works, right? The Hope Diamond is considered priceless by some, though some are fools. I know how much my designs are worth. See, look, they're right there on screen. The work we do with Extra Life will stand the test of time. I see this as my magnum opus, at least until we do it again next year.